She was just totally devastated. Still having a hard time getting over it. There's 4 children that she has to look after. It's not easy for a single parent to look after, kids ranging from age 5 to 17. So sometimes we have to be ready to deal with these, help console such individuals. And, very discreetly or very tactfully, you speak to these persons who are victims of, let's say, emotions and grievances, and just try to help them through with philosophical. You can maybe sometimes have to be limited in what you can say philosophically to such individuals, but nevertheless, you have to show a lot of empathy, and because that's what they need. They just come. People like that, they come to cry on somebody's shoulder, so we should have our shoulders available. I'm not talking about, like literally, but we've got 2 shoulders, by the way. That means that everyone should have, at least 2 people we can look after, right? Concerned about sharing and helping. You feel it too. Anybody who goes out, you feel it too. Anybody who goes out and does book distribution or shares Krishna consciousness with someone. And yesterday I went to see, Nityananda was very kind to drive me to Dundas, Ontario, where at a facility, a hospital facility, a friend of mine, he's a walking acquaintance. We walked together in Alberta and British Columbia on the last walk I did across Canada. He himself walked Canada 1.5 times. He started from his house at the beaches. Everybody knows the beaches. He went all the way to Newfoundland and back. So that's one, you can say that's. Then the year later, he was actually going through a tough time. It was the year 2001, 9/11 happened. His marriage was falling apart at that time. He was getting into drinking. So he went on a long walk, serious walk, and that really cured him. Unfortunately, during the time of the vaccine taking, he took the vaccine, and in 36 hours, he just got a horrible reaction. He almost died last summer. So, whether it's death or getting close to death, we just have to be ready for it. And during perhaps you've heard the phrase, dying before dying, okay? That means just prepare yourself. And actually, we live to die. Does that sound kind of grim? But we also, from devotees, we can flip it around, or we die to live, okay? Prabhupada also explains that for a devotee, dying is just going to sleep. And then when you wake up, you're there with Krishna. Yeah? And death is sometimes compared to the mouth of the cat, And for a rat, that mouth with its jaws means death. But for the kitten, it means protection. She'll grab the neck of little kittens and move them over to another place. Where I remember as a kid growing up on the farm, and we had a cat, and she gave birth, and I don't know, I can't remember how many kittens there are, but they're so cute, how they. And I guess we were handling them too prematurely, so Mama decided, I'm going to move my babies somewhere where they can't find them so easily. So that's it. Anyways, death. Death is all around us. And Srila Prabhupada, of course, he passed away on November the 14th, 1977. I remember when it happened. It was, devotees were in great grievance. I thought to look at the section of the Lilamrita, and I'm going to read a little bit to you. Please take pertinent notes down, and then we'll have a period where we'll ask questions, okay, to see if you're on top of it. All right, so from volume 6, We do have a chapter called The Final Lesson, and I think I'll just start there. Okay, there are a few pages, and we'll see what we can cover now, and we might be able to cover some more this evening. And everyone should be here for the program tonight. Si, senor.
Do you want me to display it on screen?
I don't know if we have, is that what you want? I thought it
I'm
would,
just asking you if you
I thought I would charade it out.
Oh,
Is that okay? Then people are a little more
have it.
perked up. Yeah, you're like a coffee. You know. Okay, this is called The Final Lesson. Despite his promise to live, Srila Prabhupada said his life was still in Krishna's hands. Everything was. His free choice did not mean he was absolutely independent. Rather, the pure devotee's attitude is to freely surrender to whatever happens. In the mood of the gopis, the foremost devotees of Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's a verb, prayed, thank you. Some intelligent people here. Lord Chaitanya prayed, you may handle me roughly in your embrace, or make me broken-hearted by not being present before me. But you are always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Good. Most of you know that one. Because the exchanges between the Lord and his pure devotees are always supremely personal, both the Lord and his devotees express desires and individual will. In his childhood Leela, Krishna sometimes breaks Mother Yashoda's butter pot, and sometimes he allows her to catch him and bind him in any case. You guys, the will of the Lord and the will of the devotee are always
One.
in interest. It's an important thing. But they are some expressed in the form of a loving conflict. Similarly, although Srila Prabhupada had promised his devotees that he would stay in the world and defy death, he still remains surrendered to the will of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada had already expressed his surrender in the prayer he had given his disciples to offer on his behalf. What was that? Okay. My dear Lord
Krishna,
if you desire, please cure Srila Prabhupada. By the phrase, if you desire, he was reminding his followers of the supreme prerogative of Krishna and was asking them to abide by it, although he was also giving them an acceptable way to petition Krishna. In a similar case in 1967, he had given his disciples another prayer. My master has not finished his work. He had said then that Krishna had responded to this prayer, granting the wishes of the devotees. Srila Prabhupada himself was responding to the devotees' prayers, and Krishna had given him the choice. Very good. But as a surrendered soul, Srila Prabhupada waited for further developments, ever sensitive to Krishna's desire. As Prabhupada had said, when invited by Kirtanananda to come to his palace in New Vrindavan, let us see which palace I am going to. As a loving tension can sometimes times exist between the Supreme Lord and his pure devotee. So now a similar tension existed between Srila Prabhupada and his followers. Prior to his disciples' desperate petition at his bedside, Srila Prabhupada had seen his duty as instructing his disciples in how to die. Thank you. Part of his mission was to set the perfect example in this most important lesson, how to pass life's ultimate test. I was trying to figure out how to test. You know what I mean. Driver's test. But now his disciples were asking him to postpone the lesson in dying and stay with them indefinitely in the preaching field. And Prabhupada had agreed, showing that he had the ability to live if he chose. But sooner or later, he would have to
open drink.
rhymes with burn. Turn. Okay, but sooner or later he would have to return to the lesson and how a person should face the end of his life. One special feature of Srila Prabhupada's activities is his relating intimately to the human condition, while at the same time remaining aloof and transcendental. As a pure devotee, he was not subjected to the law of one word, two syllables. First syllable. Car. Ma. Okay, karma. Which awards reactions for pious and sinful deeds. He was not born by the force of karma, nor would he die by force of karma. As stated by Srila Rupa Goswami, one whose body and are fully engaged in devotional service to Lord is a liberated soul, even while living in this material world. This world. Okay. Don't make up stuff for us. Don't add, don't subtract. People often misunderstand the movements of a pure devotee within the material world, just as one on seeing clouds blowing past the moon may think the moon itself is moving. The Shastra there warns us to never see the Guru as an ordinary man subject to karma. But Srila Prabhupada, while always transcendental to this world, showed the conditioned souls how they too could come to the stage. Thank you. Should have said rhymes with sage. Stage of liberation by constantly thinking about Krishna and serving him, so that at the time of death they could return, thanks, we're learning something, to Krishna in the eternal spiritual world. And Prabhupada's lessons were always practical and universal. Yes. Srila Prabhupada's books, for example, were not mere theory, but were practical and full of realized knowledge. And Prabhupada practiced what he preached. His entire life was exemplary. He had been in family life, and even then he had vigorously preached by starting his Back to Godhead magazine. In poverty and obscurity, he had struggled to Okay. That's in the middle of January. Okay. He struggled to start a spiritual movement, and by the grace of Krishna and his spiritual master, he had become successful. He had always shown by his human-like attempts his willingness to bravely take on austerity and face danger. He had shown exemplary spiritual life for all to try and follow. He had gone alone in old age to a foreign country and had chanted Hare Krishna in a park. Right? In New York City. Attracting the young. Are you a hippie? When you sang this morning, I thought maybe you were on drugs or something. Attracting the young and of America. Everything's nice in America. Da, 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 da. Okay. Not these days. Okay. Therefore, everyone should take his example and try to serve despite the immediate impediments. Srila Prabhupada encountered obstacles, yet by his free will and the help of Krishna, he surmounted them. This was his wonderful example. It is said that Lord 500 years ago made surrender to Krishna more attainable than Lord yes, and more attainable than Lord Krishna had done 5,000 years ago. And now in the 20th century, Srila Prabhupada has made Krishna consciousness possible for people all over the world. As part of his instruction and example, Srila Prabhupada knew he would have to show people just how to die. He had escape. I get a chance to get a few extra steps, but it didn't register. Okay. Now, listen. Now I forgot where I left off. I know the word. He had escaped death a number of times by Krishna's grace, by the prayers of his disciples, and by his own pure and powerful will to propagate his movement. But from the signs given to him by Lord Krishna in 1977, Srila Prabhupada began decisively and conclusively ending his mission in the material world. And among his final duties was his giving complete guidelines on how to die. He was perfectly showing how to do that, which everyone has to do. But which is most difficult to do, successfully die. But a loving conviction was there. Conflict was there, sorry. Prabhupada loved his disciples. He also knew they were not yet fully mature. His movement already had great
push, power, energy, strength.
I'm going to keep going until you get it right. Give me a P, 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 O, 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 T, 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 T. No, E, 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 N, N, potency. Wow, Hare Krishna. And he had stature in the world, and yet it had many enemies, the movement he's talking about. He was inclined to always
Protect
his devotees, his movement, and all living entities, even the animals. So, when his most intimate and faithful disciples pleaded that he could not go on without him, he had turned from showing how to die, agreeing to stay with them and preach. But at what point would they ever be willing to let him go? At what point could he say that the world of
Delusion.
Maya and the enemies of Krishna were all gone? At what point would his disciples become fully mature? In following his decision to stay, Srila Prabhupada turned himself over to his disciples, allowing them to care for him completely. Those who took part recall that never had Srila Prabhupada allowed such intimate dealings between himself and his disciples. The only thing comparable was in New York in 1960. What's the famous highway? South of the world? No, from Chicago to LA. Route 66. You check out the song. When he had been very intimate in dealing with the first persons to join him. Persons who have known nothing of the knew nothing of the etiquette of approaching a spiritual master. But those who were present now and who had also been present then said that these days were even more intimate. Okay, great. Okay, so we'll spend a little time then. Okay, let me read another paragraph and then we'll go on. At one point, Kirtananda firmly insisted that Srila Prabhupada drink a full cup of juice. Very good. I was going to say juice. Juice, as in juice. No, I'm not offending anybody, right? Okay. Even when he said he had enough, Kirtananda felt awkward, insisting, "I'm not like Mother Yashoda that I can do this," he said. "I keep remembering that you are my spiritual master." But Srila Prabhupada allowed himself to be ordered by Kirtananda. Similarly, Bhavananda, Tamal Krishna, Bhakti Chiru Upendra, and other servants coaxed Srila Prabhupada to follow certain diets and care for his body constantly. The other devotees were reminded of the story of Ishwara Puri, who gave intimate bodily service to his spiritual master. What was his name? Madhavendra Puri. When Madhavendra was in the last stages of his life and apparently invalid, according to the book Chaitanya Charitamrita, it was by this menial bodily service that Ishwara Puri proved his love for his spiritual master and was allowed to become the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya. Okay, let's go back then, okay? Everybody ready? Despite his promise to live, what did Srila Prabhupada say? His life was,
Dependent on Krishna.
in Krishna's hands. Like everything is, isn't it? It's not just in this occasion, but a lot of people don't get it. A lot of people feel I'm the controller, when things go good, I'm in charge. When things go bad, Donald Trump is yeah. The devotee's attitude is what?
To surrender.
Yeah, that's right. To freely surrender to Krishna, whatever happens. Now, what was the exact? Hello, Dolly. Okay. Okay, which devotees were given as the example of those who, devotees? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu followed the mood of a particular group of devotees about surrender.
Gopis.
Yes, the gopis, yeah. And that is in the, found in the Shikshastakam. And you can handle me roughly by your, yeah, sometimes people squeeze a little too much sometimes, Hiranyaksha had that battle with Varaha. And, Hiranyaksha was trying to squeeze the life out of Varaha. But when he was trying to do that, suddenly he disappeared. He was in his arms, and then he went out of, then he was outside of his arms. Because Varaha he's mystical, right? What did Krishna do in his childhood pastimes that, that we mentioned? Oh, that's too generic. Butter pot, thank you very much. And the will of the Lord, the will of the devotees are always one in interest. A very important point, right? There's no difference. Now, sometimes, our Christian friends, there's a lot of confusion, I must say. You get different answers from different people. They'll say, Jesus is God. Okay? But apparently, that's not very verified, Jesus is the Son of God. But they both maintain the same interest. It's one, so therefore the theology came up of the Trinity, and that is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Spirit inside. Yeah, that they call it the Trinity. That's what they call it. And they use that term sometime. So when I was a new devotee, someone explained, it was Jagadish who explained, well, there's God, there's Krishna, and then there's Krishna's son, like Prabhupada, and then there's Krishna as Paramatma in the heart. Is that a good explanation or what? I think it works, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's a good fit. All right? Okay. Srila Prabhupada expressed his surrender to devotees. What year was it that Prabhupada was in a kind of precarious situation? It was the summer of love. Yeah, no, not, did somebody else say it? You're on so I can't understand what you're saying.
77. 1977.
Yeah, but prior to that,
75.
no,
68.
67. Summer of Love. Bruce, can you remember? Summer of Love. 67, 1967, just to let you know. Right, San Francisco, Summer of Love. The same year, there was the Summer of Hate in Detroit. There were all these riots going on, the army had to come in, and all these things went on at the same time, yeah. As far as I know, he's referring to when Prabhupada had heart palpitations in New York. It was Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. Okay. And what was the name of the devotee that invited Prabhupada over? Yeah, Kirtananda, to the Palace of Gold, which is there, near Vrindavan. Okay, that's very good. Now I'll just put something out there. It's, out of the blue. Srila Prabhupada's passing reminded the devotees of another person who was passing, one of the Mahajans, Bhishma Dev, that's right, yeah, and we'll get to that tonight, you know. Bhishma Dev died heroically. He was in pain, as we know. Srila Prabhupada was in pain. And, you know, just to let you know, I have a godbrother, his name's Abhiram. He's an American devotee. He looked after Prabhupada. And he basically looked after him just like Ishvara Puri looked after Madhavendra Puri. You know, just took care, cleaning him and everything, all those kind of things, you know, happened. And, you know, so there was, you probably heard, there was some kind of conspiracy that someone had poisoned Prabhupada. But it's Abhiram, we said that just could not have happened. It did not happen because he was consistently with Prabhupada. So just don't listen to the poison stuff. It's poisonous to listen to the poison theory, you know. Sometimes these kind of things, messages get out there of a negative streak, and they don't necessarily have any validity to them. But, you know, some people like to conjure up. They like to be part of the shock culture, you know. And we should enroll them in, you know, Halloween programs, you know. Take charge of a haunted house or something like that. You know, trying to scare. There's no need for that. Let's look at a few other points here. That going back to here, Prabhupada was intimate with his devotees when?
66.
The conclusion that we came up with here. He was the most intimate with his devotees.
1977.
Yeah, this time. You know, when he's dying, he's passing away. You know, he's going on a lot of fasts and everything like that. And I remember one time he was on a long fast, and devotees asked him, "What would you like to break your fast with?" Because he said he would eat something. And you know what it was? A strawberry. Hare Krishna. All right. Let's see. When did Srila Prabhupada come to America? What was the year?
1966.
65, yeah. How much money did he have in his pocket?
40
40
rupees.
rupees. How many, let's say, how many dollars was that?
25.
Yeah, we heard 9, here it says 7, which in those days you could spend 1 hour in anywhere in America, you know. I mean, $7 was a chunk in those days. It's all relative, isn't it? Okay. So when devotees found out that Prabhupada was ill and that was transpiring, what did they do? Jiva Roy, what did they do? Did they sleep at that time? Well, yeah, because they have to get close, right? Okay. What did they do? They prayed. Mhm. Yeah. And Prabhupada had given ideas what prayers, if you desire, you know, that's how the prayers start. It's an address to Krishna, if you so desire, please. Allow our Lord and Master to stay with us. Okay, for the last little part here, I would like you to write in your notes, what contributions did Prabhupada give to the world? What contributions did he offer the world? Okay? You can put it in your phone, you could write it down, whatever. Just as many items as you can think of, as many as possible. We're not going to give you a lot of time. It has to be on a marathon level. Okay, do you need a little more time? Yay or nay? Yay?
Yay.
Okay, you'll get it. Okay, I think that's good enough, because we just want to take a time to get some answers from some of you Prabhus, okay? Okay, whatever you wrote is great, maybe, you can make a list. There probably are 108 things that you could write about. So just, I'll ask you the question, put up your hand if you know. Tell us one thing that Prabhupada achieved in this world. Put up your hand, tell me. Tell us, yes.
The spreading of Krishna consciousness.
Spreading of Krishna consciousness. Yes, that's sort of a general term, but yes. Yeah,
Way back to Godhead.
he,
Way back to Godhead.
a way back to Godhead, okay. Now, let's say I'm a newcomer, I don't know much about Krishna consciousness. What kind of an answer do you give me? Well, what did Srila he do for us?
Purpose.
What did he do for the world? Just give it like a Karmi answer, if I will, if you, yes, go ahead, Karmi.
Authentic translations of the
Okay.
scriptures.
Okay, beautiful. Printed many books on Eastern thought, yeah. Prabhu?
He opened temples and communities that support.
We opened lots of temples. Yes, Prabhu.
How to live happily.
Learned how to live happily. Okay, that's, okay, I'm a new person. Oh, okay, all right, what does that mean? Like, I need more detail. Yes.
Purpose to live.
A purpose to live? Okay, sure, that's, yeah, but how?
Like introducing Krishna consciousness.
Introducing, okay, those are general terms. Yeah, go ahead.
Simple living life.
Simply have general terms, yeah, simple. What did he, what physically can I see that he did? Yeah,
To know God as a person and how to love Him.
promote God as a person, okay, what physically can I see that he has done?
He gave philosophy and methods to experience divinity.
Okay, yeah, we kind of partially answer that. He presented the truth, through the books and so on like that. Yeah, Karna Sindhu again?
One Prabhupada disciple, Gurudas Prabhu, he summed it up in 3 words: by his example.
By his example, okay, that's also, but what is that example? I'm a new person, I'm Joe Blow. Okay, by his example, okay, all right. What else?
He gave us a regulated lifestyle, giving us 4 regulated principles for freedom and
Okay.
chanting.
Okay. Regulated life. He started ashrams, where people could learn the disciplines, right? And then you can get into the details. Yeah. What else? Go ahead. Isha.
It used vegetarianism.
Yeah. A big promoter of nonviolent food,
Cow
you know.
protectionism.
Yeah, cow protection as well. That's what we're kind of looking for, yeah. He was the forerunner of this. He was at the cutting edge of this kind of thing, nonviolent food, just like, yes, Prabhu. You had your hand up. But you also had your mouth open, so I understand what you're saying. You're yawning. It looked to me like, ooh, I got it. Yes, go ahead.
Teachers, gurus.
Oh, he started, he created teachers, gurus. What, of martial arts? Or?
Mentors first. Mentors for life. Spiritual masters.
Spiritual master, spiritual, yeah, Christianity? Can we be more specific?
So,
Teachers of the Bhakti tradition, why don't you say that, Bhakti tradition? Yeah. Yes,
Kirtan.
kirtan, like a curtain? You put a curtain
Yeah,
on?
like, yeah, I think there's a
He introduced the system, the method of kirtan, yes, as a way to express worship, yeah, go ahead.
Food for people in general on programs like Sunday Feast.
Okay, yeah, he started mass food distribution, that's right, we call prasadam, yeah, for Sunday feasts and restaurants and, you know, what have you, that kind of thing, yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
He also promoted equality by offering the philosophy to everyone without distinction.
Well, that's very nice. He was, yes. Okay. I don't know if that's unique. Like everyone presents their product to everybody, especially when it comes to making sales. I want a lot of it. I'll sell shoes in a place where they don't have shoes. Okay.
gave us teachers to look at.
He also started the Archavigraha system, and it was quite elaborate, you know, because in South India it gets elaborate, and in Bengal, you know, the Gaudiyas, you know, puja is fairly elaborate. Yeah, that he introduced to the world. Nobody was doing it, only to limited places in India, yeah.
He started farms to show people how to live simple life.
Okay, there, yeah, instead of simple living, I think, which somebody mentioned, and I think it was a good answer, but, you know, practical, I mean, yeah, started farm communities, yes.
Gurukul.
He's also started Gurukul system for children, that's right. Oh, yeah,
A platform to unify people
platform to unify people.
from all around the world.
Well, yeah, so did, you know, Elvis Presley.
Well, they can say it's a social platform.
Okay, spiritual.
Not like United
So he started an institution called ISKCON, and he opened up branches all over the world, 108 to be exact. So again, like I'm studying theology, I'm at the University of Toronto, I just want to know what are his contributions, okay? So, good. Now, like some of you gave airy-fairy answers in the beginning, but just to make it a little bit clear, what are the accomplishments, you know, in simple form? Yeah, we're doing good. We are doing good. Yes, Carlos.
Just related to the last one, is that the centers that he opened up, people can actually practically make spiritual advancement.
Mm-hmm.
Most other places, you just go on Sunday, you don't really make the same kind of advancement that you can make in small temples.
Could we say something like, you know, he opened up temples, places of worship, but also he opened up centers for study, you know, right?
Systematic process.
Yeah, through systematic process. You could come and stay in a temple just like BAs do it. You can learn about the science of bhakti, right? Yeah, that's a big achievement, it really is. Anything else?
He also,
We've got a good list. Yes, Paul.
he also helped people get over addictions through creating,
People do what?
to get over addiction.
Oh, yes, yeah, definitely that was the case, like we were reading yesterday. Yeah, to get over addictions, you know, through his method, he saved a lot of people from, you know, self-destruction. It's a fact, it's a fact. Yeah.
He made ISKCON as one family.
Okay, it's in the 7 principles, what we call them, mission statements about Krishna. Yeah, that's true. It is general though, yeah.
Morning program.
Morning program, well, places of training, right? What about evening program? What about afternoon program, you know? Yeah, that's devotee lingo that you're using for me. Again, I'm a new person, and I'm asking, what did he achieve? And if you give an answer, we started a morning program, and you go, duh, morning program, okay. Program in the morning, okay, great. What was that program? Get together and drink some beer, play cards, you know? What's the morning program? So get specific, right? Get specific, yeah.
I think we also, the society in general also trains citizens, future citizens, to contribute to society, contribute back to society. So we're training efficient citizens for the world as well. So
Oh, training citizens,
yes,
improving,
law-abiding citizens.
improving, yeah, the law abiding, yeah, good citizenship, yeah. Good moral people, he created a culture of good moral values, right? That's a fact, you know? Yes,
He brought back things like traditional things like Sika, Dhoti, Kurta,
Yeah.
Tila.
Yeah, that's true. He, he brought back a culture, or aroused, transplanted a culture that was from India and brought it to the world, Vaishnava training, yeah. Brahmachari, Grasta, all that, you know, ancient Indian stuff, yep.
Taught people how to play musical instrument and use it for something better.
Okay, he taught people how to do kirtan, how to, you know, make a very presentable, yeah, that kind, it's training, it is training.
Rath Yatra, all of them.
He started Rath Yatras. It's an ancient festival from India that dates back at least 2,000 years in practice, yep. Mhm. Yep.
Introduce a unique form of worship by chanting and dancing on the
Mhm.
holy name of the Lord.
Okay, yeah, you introduced dancing, yeah. We already talked about kirtan, so, yeah, he introduced that method as expressed, as, let's say, presented by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, great luminaries, yeah. Yeah,
He also introduced a publishing house, which publishes books in
Mhm.
more than 100 languages.
Yep. yeah,
and
all to
spread
do with
all
his
the
books, yeah, well, we did mention it, but you're getting a little more specific, yeah, Karan and Sindhu.
Gender equality in religious practices.
The gender equality in, yes, very nice. I think that is important. That would be to the interest of the modern person to know about that, yeah. And of course, in chapter 1, there's mention about women being less intelligent. We have to be ready to explain that in the best way possible, okay? Because if it's not explained properly, people will misunderstand. Okay, we're doing good. Anything else?
From his lectures, he taught about the practical approaches of devotional life instead of just assuming things. So how to practically apply those things.
Okay, how to practically apply. He also started ignited a system of pilgrimage. He had devotees go back, followers to go back to India and enact an ancient practice of pilgrimage, visiting holy places. Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's full of instructions. How do you get to this temple? You go to this, take this train here, and then you get off, and then you walk here. It's quite detailed like that. That is a contribution. Not only that, but he established holy places like pilgrimage places outside of India as well. Yeah. We're doing good. We're doing good. Did you ever think we get such a good list together? He was definitely a good promoter of vegetarianism, but you can elaborate a little bit, the whole philosophy of ahimsa, ahimsa philosophy, nonviolence. Yeah. And he changed in many ways he changed the fashion, dress code. He brought a new dress code, he was way above the whole immigrational wave of people, He brought saris, you know, like even saris, what to speak of dhotis, you know. Not too many men wear dhotis, frankly, but you could see more women that wear saris. And they're elegant. Yes.
Brought religion and spirituality, or religion and science closer together.
Oh, very nice. That's a good point, yeah. A synthesis of science and religion. Yep. Very good. Whereas these two communities tend to be very, separated apart from each other. He actually brought them together. You see, there's a lot of similarities. A synthesis, yeah, of the two. Yeah.
Emphasis on study of the soul.
Yes, surely. Yeah. Yeah. When you get down to the details of what was the science, the Bhagavad Gita, right? We have to say something about the Gita. He brought the teachings of Lord Krishna to the world in a massive way. No one else did that. Vivekananda didn't do it. He just went to one program in Chicago, said a few words, and he impressed people, but he wasn't dynamic in the same. Okay. Yes.
He traveled around the world 11 times and gave thousands of lectures. He
Yeah. Yeah.
also changed lives of thousands of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. He was a motivational speaker on the science of bhakti. Yeah, so that's good stuff, right? I'm glad you're writing these things down. And the reason why it's good to write it down is that it increases your appreciation for Prabhupada more, right? Well, he's not just a guru. Yeah, he's much more than
You mentioned this already, but the vegetarian aspect that not only just vegetarian, but also vegetarian without onions and garlic. So
Yeah, get into the fine details. Another thing about the science of the transmigration of the soul, he was a forerunner of promoting this. And karma. Do you know that the Christians have had to change their Bible because of the devotees? Thou shalt not kill. Was referencing, as far as they're concerned, you should not kill humans. But he defined it differently, and devotees went out boldly on the street saying, "No, you're Christian, yeah, but you're killing all the time. Thou shalt not kill. You're a hypocrite." Devotees will sometimes say, these concepts of karma and transmigration, reincarnation, he brought it to the fore. He really promoted it, and his follow through his disciples as well. Okay.
He also brought different culture, cuisines and sweets like rasgulla, and then introduced
Yeah,
vegetarian
not
books.
only did he bring vegetarianism into the picture, but he also brought ancient recipes, There's one place where, Mr. Bean, he says, he's playing the role of like a statesman, says, we're very happy to have immigrants come to our country, because they have brought their food. But now that we have their recipes, maybe we don't need them now. We can send them back. He's comical. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff when you stretch it out. Let's look at it this way. Prabhupada affected the pop culture.
Oh, yeah.
The pop culture. He met with the Beatles. Those guys were like gods. And he affected the change in their music. Really, he did. Especially George. That's a big thing. That's really a big thing. One of the all-time most happy songs ever in recent times is Here Comes the Sun. the guitar, do, 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 do. You know, it's in people's heads. Yeah, good stuff. And the song Something, which it comes across as a love song, like Frank Sinatra said, it's the most beautiful song ever written. Love song. And he was just saying something in the way she moves. But you know, you read about it in the book, right? He didn't want people to think he was gay. So he actually meant something in the way he moves, the way Krishna moves. But he didn't want to say, so he changed it to she. You know, Prabhupada had that influence. George Harrison would come with those lyrics, and he'd pass it by Shyamsundar, and said, "This sounds good. This looks good." I was a kid growing up listening to the Beatles music, and then I found much later on, wow, Prabhupada was behind this. I think you go on and on listing the credits of Srila Prabhupada. There's no end. And even now, even though he's passed away, he's having an effect. We're growing. Mhm.
He also brought business in Ahimsa, for example, Matches, gift shop, Govinda's restaurant, and we also tried opening that incense factory.
Yeah, that's right, during his time. Yeah, he did start a restaurant chain. He was trying to encourage it, yeah. And just like the farm concepts, the Ahimsa he also started, restaurants. He wrote a letter. I see people aren't coming to temples, therefore we should open up restaurants and reading rooms. And that they did. That he had them do. Okay, I think, oh yeah, Karan is going to give us the last one.
He reignited interest in holy places, Vrindavan,
Yeah, we mentioned that, the pilgrimage system. Mhm.
He's still inspiring people through his life lessons, through his autobiographies. Because till date, people are getting inspired and they are taking a spiritual life. They are trying to make their life better just by seeing him.
Okay, that's general, but yeah, that's general. We can get more specific.
Yeah, he also established one of kind spiritual governing body, which and like, usually you don't see such governance in spiritual bodies. You just see one that
It's a democratic system.
democratic system. So,
Prabhupada, it's Bhaktisiddhanta who started that.
oh, sorry.
His
Implemented
guru.
implemented
His guru started that system of governing body commissions. And whenever there was a good idea, Prabhupada copied it, Like he got the ideas from Gandhi, because he was a Gandhi follower. We can give credit to it, about the Ahimsa program, the communal living, take care of the animals and so on like that. Okay, so that hopefully we have, in the last hour or so, gotten a little excited about the special credits that he brought to the world. Well, is that spooky or what is it? Oh my God. And he's been very kind to us in Canada. One day soon, who is it? Jiva Doya? You wanted to do an outing?
On Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yes, if you would like.
We could probably, but it has to be in the morning, I think. I'm busy during the day. We could go to Taylor Creek Park, which is where Prabhupada walked.